Welcome to Channel EMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once you have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, thanks for all the subscribers of the years. Now, obviously, we have March into March of 2024, where there's no particular policy update this week, but there has been a lot of talks. Not just on the media, but also internally in the industry as well. Obviously, if you have been following our channel long enough, you'll notice that there has been a lot of bad words being thrown around in regards how the government has been handling the immigration policy, and I believe that you will agree with me totally. Otherwise, I won't be able to get those subscribes and also all the thumbs ups in the comments. So anyhow, now in today's video, I would like to talk more a little bit about the bad players. Now, how did we get to what we are actually suffering or experiencing these days? Obviously, we're talking about all the in regards to all the reasoning for housing crisis and all that. I've talked about all those political reasons in order to shift the political powers over by utilizing the topics of immigration. So how do we get to here where the government of Australia has suddenly cut a lot of the migration numbers, and especially recently cutting all the international students? Now, before we get to that point, let's have a look at more news media. I know I've already shown a lot, but there's a lot more. So we've seen this one now, not just the Indian student, not just the Pakistani, not just all the whichever the nationality that you currently hold. It's not just about you, as you can see now in this news here is talking about Vietnamese. Okay, we thought that it's the booming economy. But again, I suspect it's going to be a lot more than 16%. But anyway, it's news media. Came out around the last day of February. Okay, rejects not 60% Vietnamese student visa application with tough immigration policy. I think that's actually a lot more, and they are rejecting a lot of travel and visitor visas as well. And in addition, another one, it was I think when was this one? 26th of February, so a couple of days ago again. See this? Goodbye Chinese students. Hint of major change coming in international university students in Australia. So obviously, as a nation of Australia, it's what it had been was it had relied on a lot of numbers of international students coming from China. Now there's a major shift as well, not just talking about the geopolitics between the US and China. As you have probably all heard that news, it's been there for years. Now Australia is following that up, but also with the new policies implemented for the international student application as well. So how do we actually get here? Obviously, it's a housing crisis. They're talking about it's too many migrants, that including temporary and permanent, coming to Australia. And also there has been years of talks. If you have followed my channel long enough, you'll notice there has been years of talk about all those dodgy players. So I will call all of them bad players. First of all is the institution, the private institution, especially in the vet sector. It has been too easy for businessmen, if they are business minded, why not make some good money from international education? So they will just buy out an RTO, that's full name is Registered Training Organization, setting up a college with a lease, or if they wanted to invest into real estate, probably purchase the whole building, and then start registering credit cards and issuing the confirmation of enrollment to international students. Now, whether or not they actually study or not, well, I've been in this industry long enough. I certainly seen a lot of people, now we call them bad players, utilizing student visa coming into Australia with the international student visa, but not really studying. They actually go out there working. Now, obviously, that breaches all the visa condition and all the intention how the government of Australia actually plan and legislate the law for. It's not for people to come in here to work, especially a lot of working holiday makers. Once they finish their working holiday visas, well, they wanted to work more. They wanted to make more money, and they lodge a student visa with those bad players. Now, we just talked about the individual and private colleges. They are the bad players, but there's also the bad players. That's the applicant. Now, these student applicants, well, not students, but these people had the intention of obviously not blaming the agent, because they had the intention to do it anyway. If they don't have the intention, why would there be a business in agency, brokerage, in getting all these dodgy and bad players into another bad player, that is the private vet colleges, and getting all these visas and go out there to work? So all of this adding into what we actually experience today. Unfortunately, now another bad player. So we talked about two bad players already. That's the private vet colleges. And the other bad player is actually the visa applicant themselves, because they wanted to work, they wanted to intentionally breach the visa condition by means of somehow getting a legitimate student visa while they still work, getting paid by cash, so then they're gonna count it towards their hourly rate and things like that. And then they knew it. If they have come up with any dispute and complaint with their employer, well, they basically getting into fair work and getting all those trouble. If you've seen all these on the news, basically someone offer the role and they know it's unlawful, and someone accept the role whilst they also know it's unlawful. So these two bad players is bad. Now, the other bad players, I must say, is also the government of Australia. Now, what I wanted to say is, there are people doing the bad conducts, but over the years of practices, and all the information and all the stories we've been heard and watched and seen before our eyes, the government of Australia loves utilizing chemotherapies on policy changes, which is very bad. Talking about chemotherapy now, if you can think about this, if you got cancer, you go to chemo, right? Okay, it's basically a therapy that kills all the cells, okay, including the bad and the goods. And that's why I wanted to say also, another bad player is also the government. Every time they come in trying to fix the system, and they always bring the chemotherapy in the immigration legislation, by means they basically kill all the goods and all the bad players. And that conduct is bad, okay? Now, it's not a health or medical therapy. It is a system of the government. Utilizing such system, I personally really do not like it. We have so many good applications and applicants, and I believe a lot of people watching this video, you're probably a good player as well. You don't want to do the bad thing, but unfortunately, you've been wiped out as well. Now, that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Unfortunately, that's the fact. And that brought me the reasoning of starting all this channel, trying to do my best to make all the information transparent and clear. So whilst you experience all this unfortunate, the chemotherapy coming from the immigrations, you probably will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, what is your thoughts? Maybe you can leave some comment right down below. And I'll see you next video. Goodbye.